Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. So this episode of Back to Basic Forging, I'm going to be taking a piece of coil spring and I'm going to be making a center punch out of it. Now we already know from our previous video of mystery steels, if you haven't caught that, I don't know, the card might be up there or over there, I can't remember. Also down in the description I'll have a link to that. We know this coil spring will harden in oil, so we're going to be using oil to harden it, and I will show you the heat treating process that I use for my chisels and center punches. So we're going to do a center punch, and I'm just going to grab out the steel, start up the forge, and we'll get going. So we're going to first start off by making a square taper on the end. So I'm going to take a night heat on this. This being high carbon steel, it will take a little bit more effort to work it. So as you're working it, keep it hot and don't work it in the cooler states, because then you can stress it and actually cause fractures. So I'm going to heat it up again and we're going to keep on working on that taper. So we're going to just keep on hitting it, bring down that taper, and every blow we're turning 90 degrees. I'm going to straighten it out a little bit in the cooler temperatures. And then we're going to take a night heat on that. So we don't want to take it down to a very point. We just want to bring it down to probably about a quarter of the material size. So right now it's about a cube that's a quarter inch by quarter inch. This is actually a half-inch steel when I first started. So we're going to bring it down to a cube like that, and then we're going to actually bring it up on a higher angle right near the edge, and we're going to do a small taper right on the edge. So we're going to take it right on the edge of the anvil, and we're going to take our hammer in on an angle kind of similar to this, and we're going to actually just take small blows to try and make that tip come in a little bit more. The closer you can get that tip to being straight, square, or in the center, the less filing you're going to have to do. So we're just going to bring it in as much as we can. Now take as many heats as you want on this. But like I said, this is just to bring in that tip a little bit more. So I'm going to take another heat and bring that in a little bit more. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to refine this with a file. Again, we're just going to go straight to the edge of the anvil and do light blows to bring in that tip a little bit. Now while we still have an orange heat, we're going to just take a look and square up anything that we have to try and bring that back to center. If you want, you can just take down the corners a little bit. So just to show what I'm trying to achieve with the file, so we have our parent material, so that's our standard diameter right here. We have a long taper that we just forged out. And then we got our smaller taper right here. And what we're trying to do is we're going to make it so you have a long fat taper and then a small skinny taper going to the point. So that's what we're going to do. Sorry, my drawings are not the best, but that's basically what we're going to try and achieve with the file. So that's pretty well all the filing I have to do on mine. So basically when you look down it, what you will see, if you did it right, so this is looking straight down at it, you'll get a square, and that is your long taper that you come up. And what you should see is a perfect cross. Well, if I did my drawings right, you'll see a perfect cross. Yeah. Yeah, what do I have? Okay. You should see a perfect cross when you're looking down at a clean material that you just... So it's basically going to look like a diagonal, well, an X on your piece when you're looking straight down at it. I know I'm not going to be able to get a nice image of that on my camera, so that's why I'm just showing you what it looks like in a drawing. So now that we have forged it to what we want for a center punch, we're going to actually do a couple cycles of normalization, which means that you're bringing up the steel to critical temperature and then bringing it out into the air and letting it cool off completely and then putting it back in. And we're going to do, and that's normalizing. That reliefs any stress that we might have put in with forging. Now, normally with center punches and my chisels, I will actually square off the shaft part of it. Now with this one, you don't need to. I just find it more comfortable. So I just want to show you how to actually make a center punch. So you can try with it round, you can try with it square and see which one you like. I personally like the square. So we're just going to heat this up again to critical temperature. So basically where it loses its ability for a magnet to stick on it. So we're going to bring it up, normalize it, and we're going to probably do about 2 or 3 of those normalizing, and then we'll go on to the next step of heat treating. So we're going to bring it up to critical and just let it sit and let that cool down with the air. So at this point, when we're waiting for it to heat up to go back up to critical, you can turn down your forge a little bit so you only have a nice gentle heat. And basically what I like to do is rock it back and forth inside the flame so I can get an even heat throughout the whole thing. What you would not want to do is heat up just the tip and not actually heat up the base. So we're just going to go in and slowly heat this up. Once in a while going in with the magnet and checking it to make sure you haven't gone past that critical stage. If you have, let it cool down until it's magnetic again. And you want to worry about the tip itself. So we're just checking with the magnet. And once you feel a little pull on that magnet, go back in for about 5 seconds. Then we're going to do our quench. And we're going to only quench just about maybe an inch on this one. Just going to quench it off. Do a figure 8. I have been told to do a figure 8 while you're quenching. And then we're going to just take our brick and we're going to clean a spot on our chisel or on our center punch here. If you will actually clean on me. So we just want to clean a spot right down to bare metal so it's nice and shiny. And I know this is not, the colors are not going to show up on this film. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to watch colors. It's going to start off with a yellow color, and then it's going to go slowly more purple from your hot end. And what you're going to do is you're going to watch it go straight up to your tip, and your tip should be a straw yellow color. So we're just going to wait for that. You should have enough heat in the base here to get enough heat to do your temper at the top. So we're just going to wait until, and then once it turns yellow, like a straw color at the tip, we're going to go back in and we're going to quench the whole thing. Now when you are quenching, you only have to quench the tip of it. You don't actually have to quench the back, and actually it's better if you don't quench the back because we don't want the back end that we're going to hit with the hammer to actually be hardened. So we're just going to leave that still a little bit warm, but we're going to make sure that we don't go back up and heat this and temper it again. We're just going to wait, and once in a while just put it back in the oil, let it cool off. And if you want, you can actually just leave this sitting in the oil. And once it cools off, then it's for the moment of truth to see if you actually did it right. So just test it out. And it should leave a depression on your steel, but still have its tip intact on here, which mine does. So, success! Now, there you go. You got your first center punch, your first tool you made. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned lots, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, thanks.